chance of a lifetime. Be prepared for sensational news.
Hey, what's up everyone? It's Beth. Sorry I've been away for so long, but I wanted to go ahead and make this vlog and give you some tips and tricks on how to get into the Disney College program, since mine is coming up really soon in about 20 days, and I know that the spring 2015 applications are coming out really soon, so I wanted to go ahead and give you all the advice and tips and tricks on how to get into the Disney College program that I've learned when I scoured the internet and watched YouTube videos and read blogs. It took me a lot of research on different people's advice and their intakes and what they thought were good ideas on things to do and use, and just how to get into the program. I've been wanting to make this video since before I was accepted, because it took me so long to find all these different advice tips and tricks. Alright, so let's get started. Okay, so first thing, you're applying. If you want to make sure that you're 100% getting in, like you want to make sure that you get your foot in the door right now, get into this program, doesn't really matter what you're doing, you have to have your availability totally open. Be open to everything, anything and everything. Go ahead and don't even put no interest into anything. Keep your preferences with an open mind. Say that you want to go into Disneyland and Disney World. Say that you want to do all these roles, whether high, moderate, or low. Don't say no interest, because if you really want to get into this, then if you say no interest, you might not get in. For me, my first couple times I applied, I said no interest because I didn't think I wanted a future with Disney. Now I know I want a future with Disney, so I made sure that I didn't care if I got into Disney World or Disneyland. I didn't care if I got to do this or that. Like, I wanted to make sure, so I did. I said about 7 high interest role, 7 moderate interest role, and about 4 low interest roles. If you don't want to do the program for the long run, if it's just something that you want to have for your resume, just to do for fun because you love Disney, because it's an internship, because it's paid, blah blah blah, whatever your reasons are, if you feel like this is not the end all be all, then go ahead and feel free to put no interest. A lot of people do, and a lot of people get accepted, so don't feel bad if you put no interest. Research. Make sure that you do your research on all the roles that you're saying you either want or you don't want. Make sure that you go ahead and look up some YouTube videos, because there are YouTube videos from the Disney College program that tell you exactly what each one entails. Try to envision you doing that role and see if that would be something that you'd even be interested at all. Chances are that it's a lot more fun than it even looks. For custodial, for example, I didn't want to do custodial at all the first couple times. Like, it was no interest. Now this time it was high interest, and the reason is because I've heard so many amazing things about it. It has high guest interaction. You get to pin trade. You get to, you know, talk to guests and have fun, walk around the park, be free. You get to clean up and make the park look great. Okay, so there are so many different reasons why you should put interest into each role, but make sure you research them or else you won't know. Okay, so I suggest applying within the first 7 days. The reason is because phone interviews fill up fast. So to increase your chances of getting in, you want to make sure that your phone interview is done within like the first 3 weeks, because the first wave of acceptances is usually 21 to 25 days after the applications come out around. That's just my own personal experience from doing the program. From doing the applications and seeing it on the Facebook page. So I just think that if you apply within the first week, you have your phone interview, you are all set and all done with your phone interview, you'll have a better chance of being in that first wave of acceptances, because there's usually only one wave of acceptances for the spring, and there's usually only 2 waves of acceptances for the fall. And that's just for Disneyland Resort, and that's just from my own personal experience looking on the Facebook page. I've seen people from the Disneyland College program apply, and on Facebook they posted, oh, I never got a web-based interview or a phone interview or blah blah blah, and they applied on the first day, and it could have just been a glitch in the system, but there were a couple of them that it was just not fair that they didn't even get one. So I feel like those people who applied the first day sometimes randomly didn't really get a good enough opportunity like other people did. But then again, some people got accepted when they applied the first day. So that's just my own personal experience again. I just wouldn't apply the first day just in case, because there's so many people applying at one time. There might be another glitch in the system. Okay, web-based interview. This part is so easy, but just make sure that you give yourself enough time to do the web-based interview. What I did was I had my mom do it with me. Not in the sense that I had her fill it out for me, but in the sense that I sat down with her, and I filled it out, and I said it out loud, you know, I said the questions out loud, the answers out loud. I said, okay, I think that B describes me best. She would say like, yeah, I agree with you. Or if I was just like, I don't know, A or B, which one do you think, Mom? She'd be like, okay, A, I know you better, you know. So just, if you want, it's a good idea, but make sure you pick someone who is not going to laugh or joke around with you or distract you or disturb you, because this is time. So I did miss like one question just because we were going back and forth like, oh, I don't know, A, B. So, and there are a lot of people who miss one or two questions, and it's okay because it is timed and they know that it's really hard. Another tip for the web-based interview is be consistent, because sometimes questions come back to like haunt you because they're kind of trying to trick you. They're trying to see if you're telling the truth, and they just want to make sure that you're honest. You do want to be honest. You do want to let them know, like, hey, this is, you know, really how I am. This is my worth ethic. But at the same time, if you're lazy or if you're late to work, you don't want to tell them that. But at the same time, if you're not willing to change, then don't even apply, because you're going to have to make sure you're on time for work, if not early, and you're going to have to make sure that you work hard. So there's no sense in even applying if you don't feel like you'd be a hard worker for Disney. You kind of have to think about what Disney's looking for and what they kind of want to hear, but you know, still be honest. Okay, scheduling the phone interview. Give yourself enough time to prepare for it. Just relax and apply within the first couple days, but then just schedule your phone interview for a couple days from then, or even a week or so, because it gives you so much time to just relax and prepare, and you don't have to feel like, oh, my phone interview is in like 24 hours. I have to make sure I get everything done in time. Okay, preparing for the phone interview. What I did was, when I applied, I took a screenshot on my computer of what the roles I put preferences for, like which one were high, which one were moderate, which one were low, because chances are by the time you get your phone interview, you're not going to memorize all 20 roles or whatever and how you preference them. And by the time that you get your phone interview, you might have already just slightly changed your mind or your preferences. Maybe you had something that was high that's now moderate, or something that's moderate that's now high. So just, it's really good to keep track of what you had listed as high, moderate, and low. Okay, so you know how I said about doing research? Well, do research on all of the roles, but do the most research on your top roles. You want to make sure that you know exactly what the roles are, what they call for, or if you have some experience in that background. What I did was I printed, copy and pasted all the different descriptions of all the roles that were on my top list. I put them in Word, I printed it out, I highlighted all the words, characteristics, all the phrases that I feel like that I could really do well in, so that if they ask me, why do you think that you'll be good at this? Or why do you think that you should have this? Or why do you want this? then I can tell them, you know, exactly from what their website says, or, you know, what the description says for that role. It just shows that you did your research. Like examples would be cash handling, stocking inventory, multitasking, solving problems, answering questions, cleaning. You know, maybe you did that at your previous job, so it might be good to bring it up. Okay, this one is huge. Prepare an extraordinary answer for why you want to do the Disney College Program. So this is always asked, and this is usually the main reason why they choose you. Okay, so obviously you're going to be a little bit nervous. People get kind of antsy, and when they ask this question, they're going to be like, oh, scattering. They're going to have their notes out, and they're going to try to read off of what they put. Make sure that you are not reading it. Break it down into bullet pointed words and phrases. Like, give yourself a cheat sheet, but make sure that they're only like one word per bullet point, or maybe just 2 or 3 words per bullet point. Just so that you can, if you can remember those words, and you can maybe try to remember the order of the words, then you're golden. Like you can say, oh, dream, this is a dream of mine, or you know, resume, this would look great on my resume, or classes, I can't wait till these classes, you know. Just put something down to remind yourself, oh, that's what I want to bring up, that's what I want to tell that person, because I really want to let them know this is why I want to do the program. Okay, talk about the internship aspect of it. Talk about the classes. You know, talk about the networking. These are all things that you want to bring up during the phone interview, because if they think that you just want to work for Disney, you can just go apply for Disney. You don't need to do this college program. Look up the Disney College Program common phone interview questions. This is huge. Like, if you're nervous, you don't know what they're going to ask you, you have no idea, you haven't done an interview before, you haven't done a phone interview. Look up things that they might ask you and just brainstorm about them. So what I did was I went ahead and just read over them all, but I also answered them all. Like, I put it in Word and I typed it out. And even if you don't spend a lot of time on this, it will at least help you. Like, when they ask you on the phone, you'll be like, oh, I remember this question. You know, I said something about this, this, and this. That would be great, because then it's not like it's surprising you. It's, you know, it's helping you a little bit with that you can recall that they asked you that. Do not read your answers word by word, though. This is why I over-prepared last time. I literally wrote out all the answers when I had, like, literally my whole desk was filled. I had about 10 papers out. If they asked me a question, I'd be like, yep, got that answer right here. And I wouldn't say that, but you know, it sounded so robotic that they could almost tell that I had almost memorized everything, to the point that it didn't sound genuine. Don't make it sound not genuine, because you know what? They probably, they do care about the way you say it and the passion that comes out of your voice more than the answers you give. I can guarantee that they're looking for the characteristics and the personality that you have, rather than just the words that you're saying when they're asking you these questions. Okay, so there's literally like a 99.9% chance that your interviewer will ask you these 6 questions, so write them down. How would you handle an emergency? Do you prefer fast or slow pace? Do you prefer to work as a team or by yourself? Do you prefer to work indoors or outdoors? How do you deal with repetitive tasks? Would you get tasks done while being interrupted by guests? Now, remember what I had said in the very beginning. Be open to anything and everything. That is how you improve your chances. They like when you say, oh, I'm good at this and this. I like this and this. I don't really have a preference, but if I had to choose, blah, blah, blah. You know, say that you have done both. You are good at both. like, you don't want them to think that you're picky and you don't want to work outside and you don't like the weather or something like that. Don't be nitpicky. If you want this, you want this. If you don't, then don't even apply. Okay, so this really helped me. Prepare 4 or, more, probably not more, 4 is good, situations on different things that you have dealt with in your previous jobs. And if you haven't had a previous job, think of volunteer work, school work, daily life, family, blah, blah, blah. That you have either made someone happy or dealt with an unhappy customer. The reason why this is so important is because random questions that they ask you during this interview will really help you if you have these situations prepared ahead of time. For example, some lady came into Coldstone where I work, and she, was deaf and she was trying to order a cake. I noticed right away, so I took out a pen and paper. We had a conversation on the paper. We ordered a cake. We got it all set. That's how I made her happy. So that could, maybe the viewer can ask me a question like, name a time where you overcame something that was really hard, or name a time that you made someone really happy, or name a time that you exceeded someone's expectations. You need to think of a bunch of different things that you've done at your previous jobs, so that if they ask you that kind of question, you can, oh, yep, I have this situation in my head. You can relate it to the question, or It's a very good idea to have 3 positive qualities and 3 negative qualities prepared for yourself. When you're saying negative qualities about yourself, try to keep them on an upbeat, positive note, though, if that makes any sense at all. At the very end of the phone interview, they do ask for if you have any questions. I would definitely suggest at least preparing 1 to 3 questions. Don't do too many or too little. Well, there's not too little. 1 is enough. Just because it shows that you're really engaged and interested in this program. You have a lot of desires and, wants of getting into this program. Even if you've done your research, it just shows that you're really interested. Okay, this really helped me. Do a mock interview. If you don't know what that is, it's just when a friend or family member calls you up on your cell phone and literally pretends like they're interviewing you. So my mom and brother also both did this, but they did it on my last time I applied, which I didn't need to do it this time because I remembered all the answers. And remember how I said last time I sounded like a robot? I knew all the answers. I memorized it. I looked at the papers. Don't do that. If you do the mock interview, try to just do it 1 or 2 times. Have the person not break character. Make sure that they're really serious about it. Tell them that, it will really help you. Have them ask you all the questions. That you're going to be asked during the phone interview that you looked up, that I just told you about. If anything, it will help you sound more genuine. It will help you with your improv skills, because what if they ask you something that you forgot and you have to just think of something, think of that situation. It will just help you, because then you can feel like when the actual phone interview comes, you can kind of feel like you've already done it once, even though it wasn't real, but just try to make it as real as possible. Okay, so another thing I suggest you do is write encouraging notes for yourself. What I did was I took a bunch of flashcards and colorful Sharpies, and I just wrote words like smile, be positive, talk slow, confident, speak clearly, friendly, smile, passion, and I hung them up where my phone interview was going to be. So that really helped me, just remember, if I was talking fast, look at that, and I would just slow down. Or, if I wasn't smiling, I'd smile. Or if I wasn't being that friendly, bubbly self, then, I'd make sure that I change into character, because you need to be that. All right, the actual phone interview. Disney can call anywhere between 15 minutes before or 15 minutes after your scheduled phone interview. Just pretend like it's supposed to be 15 minutes before, so you're totally prepared. You're not rumbling through things. You're just relaxed. And if you're ready before 15 minutes before, that would be a lot more helpful, because then you can you know, go to the bathroom, get your water. Also have your cheat sheet ready. Get it all set. Only have about 2 pages out. Don't have 10 like I did my first time. You know, have, you know, the one with your top roles, why you want it, why you'd be good at it. You know, have your negative and positive things. Have the situations you want to address. Maybe just words and phrases that you want to use that you don't forget about. Just keep it bulleted point, keep it short, don't read off of it, just have it ready for you though. Look through your notes, glance at them, don't read them so quickly that you feel like you must read them before the phone rings. You want to like totally relax. Like, I know this sounds really weird, but I was literally smiling and just like waiting for the phone call, pretending like I was really gonna enjoy this, even though it was but yeah, don't freak out, because if you freak out, you're a little bit screwed. You really want to be calm, cool, and collective. I know that sounds really cliche, but hey, it really works. Like, if you can, like, you know how like when you get really nervous, your heart beats really fast and you start breathing really fast? Well, if you can literally just calm down your heart and just like slow your breathing, that phone call will be a piece of cake. Because if you can answer the phone and you're smiling before you answer, like, you'll sound so nice, bubbly, friendly, happy. You won't sound nervous. You'll be able to get your words out and you won't be talking fast. Because I know that when I get nervous, I talk really fast, and that's not something you want to do. One way that helped me talk slow was I kind of pretended like my interviewer was a little bit hard of hearing, so maybe older or just, you know, not so good at hearing. And, you know, if you're talking to an older person, you want to talk really slow and kind of loud and clear. And same thing with the interviewer, not as in a fact that in the sense that you feel like you're like saying that they're deaf, but just that like it will help you remember to stay slow. Have your interview in a quiet place. Try to do it in your bedroom or somewhere that's, you know, kind of like your peaceful Zen place. Try to do it when your family's not home. Or if they're home, try to just let them know that you want them to be completely silent when it's happening, so that you don't get distracted. Because you don't want that distraction if someone yells like, "Can someone bring me some toilet paper?" Yeah, it's really good to just make sure you're in a quiet place. Don't spend a lot of time sitting in the place that your phone interview is going to be beforehand. Try to get there the 15 minutes before your phone call is supposed to be, plus an extra 5 to 10 minutes before that to, you know, calm yourself down and stuff. Before you sit down to get ready for your phone interview, do something fun and lighthearted. Like what I did to make myself laugh a little and just relax was I went to go watch America's Funniest Home Videos, because that show always makes me laugh. And so if I could just laugh a little bit before and just kind of forget about what I was going to do in like 20 minutes, then, you know, go for it. Make sure that your phone is charged. I used my home phone, and that probably wasn't like the best idea, but I was afraid of my cell phone dying or my cell phone losing service. And it was kind of the opposite, because my phone, like, I was on, my phone interview was like 25 minutes long, and my phone died at the very end when she was like telling me about how she got started with Disney. And you know, it died. I ran out to the living room. Obviously the phone was like, it was already gone by then. I ran back in my bedroom because I realized my cell phone, she could be calling that. Sure enough, she was. So it was on silent, but I flipped it over, and so I answered it. I mean, it was no worries, because like the phone interview was already done. And she was just like finishing up, just telling me what I had already asked her. But, you know, just make sure that that's all set and ready to go. One really good piece of advice that I really want to share is pretend like that your interviewer is a distant family member, a distant relative or friend that you used to talk to, that you were really close to. I kind of pretended like, you know, it was one of my mom's friends that I've never met. And my mom talks, you know, highly about me to her friends, and, oh, my daughter is great and blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, I know one of them called the other day before my phone interview, actually. And, you know, she's like, I was just really bubbly and happy and friendly, and I don't know, maybe I was just having a really good day or whatever. But, you know, she was just like, oh, you just seem like such a delight. I can't wait to meet you. And I was just like, oh, wow, I better, you know, act like this in my phone interview, because, like, she obviously thinks I'm just, like, a knockout. So, you know, kind of act like that. Kind of like act like your mom's pride and joy. Try to think of it more like a conversation rather than an interview. That will make it seem more like they're your friend and like someone you're just trying to have a conversation with, rather than just like a question and answer session. Giggle and stuff, like, you know, instead of just like being really serious and answering the question, okay, next question. Like, you know, just act like they're your friends, so you don't have to have a question and answer session. Definitely try to make them laugh if you get the opportunity. Like, it's really great to try to get a giggle out of them, because then they know that, oh, they could probably talk to guests really well at Disneyland because they just made me laugh, and I feel like we could just joke around and stuff like that. Like, if you have an opportunity, just like throw a little joke in there, giggle yourself. When they say their name, when they call you, go ahead and write down their name. It's really good to refer back to their name later on in the interview at least once. Maybe at the end when they say, oh, do you have any questions, blah, blah, blah. Be like, oh, you know what, Judy, yeah, I do actually have a question for you, or thanks so much, Judy, for your phone call. Just try to say their name, because it comes off a lot more personable. Use different tones of voices. Show, if you're really passionate about something, show it in your voice, because they can't see you, so that's kind of a hindrance towards yourself. They can't see that smile. You want to kind of like bring that passion out. Let them hear it. Okay, be you. I know that this sounds extremely cheesy, but I didn't even like think about it my first couple phone interviews. Like, I wasn't being like funny or joking around or like myself as if I was talking to a friend or my mom's friend. I was just talking as if it was an interviewer and an interviewee, and that's how it is. But at the same time, it's not. And they're not looking for the answers as much as they're looking for how you answer it. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video with the tips and tricks and advice. I really used a lot of these things and they really helped me. I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of people who don't agree with all these tips and advice, or, you know, say that, oh, you're making it out to be so much more than it really is. For me, I'm a bad test taker. I have ADD. It was just something that I can't think of things off the top of my head, so I have to prepare for them. It was a lot harder on me to get into this program than it was to other people. So I hope you liked my video, and I hope it really helps you with preparing for your Disney College Program interview and application, web-based interview, everything like that. Okay, so go ahead and subscribe, like this video, comment any questions you might have. Go ahead and join your Facebook group for the Disney College Program, for the one that you're applying to. That will really help, because you can ask alumni questions and talk to people, get roommates and stuff like that. So that will be really fun. I have a blog, and I actually wrote this all out beforehand. If you saw me looking down, that's kind of what I was looking at. That's my cheat sheet for right now. I went into a little bit more detail inside my blog. If you want to see my blog and want to read it all or whatever, go ahead, feel free. I'm going to link the description in below for you can go ahead and follow that to my blog. Alright, well, good luck on your phone interview, and I hope that you make it into the Disney College Program.